Cool.
Yeah.
Let's go to
So
the expansion then.
yeah, let's move on to expansion. So what's your take on that?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
let me start a little bit and then I'll pass it to Srinath. So I'm a platform product manager, right? I think platform product managers plays a very key role in the growth and the expansion phases. The way I would think of an expansion phase, right? You have a product, the product is established, you know the market fit. The product has also expanded to like different stage. You have good conversions from a customer standpoint. Now you're thinking about expanding your products to different verticals. So let's take in Intuit case, right? Intuit has Mint, Credit Karma, QuickBooks, and TurboTax. There are 4 different products, and there could be a lot of functionalities that could be common for that. So instead of each of these individual product teams building all of these features, then you think about building a platform that can be utilized by all of these products so that everyone can focus on their own individual objectives and continue to expand. The same applies for new products as well. Even if you want to bring a new vertical to your company, platform product managers play a very key role in the expansion here. Srinath, why don't you add more details like from an operations standpoint here too?
Yeah. So before I talk about operations, I just want to confirm from you. So what you're saying is platform product manager owns kind of the foundation framework and the individual PMs can build features on top of it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, the right word probably is infrastructure. So we set up all the right infrastructure. We give the required APIs, or even if you want like there is corresponding front end that you need that could be common across products. We build all of those capabilities and give it to the individual product PMs.
Got it. That makes sense. Yeah. So from product operations standpoint, the way I see the expansion product managers or product operations managers operate is they take an existing product to new marketplaces, or they take an existing marketplace like product to expand to new languages such as those. And it's especially when we expand or scale to new marketplaces, it's very important to consider various factors as a PM, because for instance, if you're expanding to new marketplaces, the people's preferences may be different. There may be different compliance, security, privacy requirements that you all need to incorporate. So understanding the needs of the customer in a specific marketplace for a expansion PM is extremely important, because it may not be a one size fits all. What a product which may work in US may not work in Europe, because there are different compliance requirements in different countries across Europe, and they change by country. So you need to be you need to understand the local sentiment, local needs as a growth PM. And in addition, as an expansion PM, it's extremely important to make sure the localization aspect as well is considered when rolling out the features, because what you may call here, people may understand that, but if you use the same name there, people may not get that. So as an expansion PM, you need to keep all this in mind when rolling out new features in new marketplaces or expanding.
So I have a question here, Srinath. So an operation PM basically concentrates more on the excellence or efficiency of the processes, right? So you have a set of processes with or frameworks which product managers work on. So you focus on streamlining that. So do you use any tools or frameworks to make these processes efficient? Something like Six Sigma or theory of constraints, or maybe 5 Whys. Like, what is your process in making product managers toolbox more efficient?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So we use, I mean, it depends on the problem statement that we're trying to solve, because sometimes it may just need probably how do you roll out a launch plan? And launch plan is something probably you can use Excel and create what that launch playbook looks like. And in other cases, for instance, if you need to make sure your product meets the localization requirements, for that you need to probably go through a localization tool where you get all the translations. So how do you set up that tool so you can get all the translations necessary for your strings before roll out all the new features? So as a product operations manager, you need to be extremely mindful of the local needs and design process, because whatever you may design, for instance, if you're working for a product feature to launch in US and you may use a process, probably that could be completely different if you're launching in EU. For instance, if you're launching in US, you may not need translations apart from Spanish, but if you're launching the same product in Europe, you may need translations in various languages. So
So there's
depending
like
on
if
the problem we do.
there's efficiency drive and there's also standardization. So
Exactly.
one follow-up question is like, uh, change is difficult, right? Like you sometimes people could resist change. So how do you deal with that? Like, do you say this is what you have to follow, or do you just prescribe and say this is a better way to do it?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So, as a product operations manager, influencing without authority is extremely important. And the way that we do is by testing, by doing experiments, and showing successful results even before that could be used live. So, for instance, if I am basically working on a new process, which I recently was trying to roll out, how do you get the feedback from all the customers through our go-to-market stream teams? How do you get that to product, and how do you take that back to the customers? So the way I do that is, first I myself will test out that process as a product manager to make sure it works and show the results before even they adopt, because otherwise, as you said, change is, I mean, very difficult, because people may not feel confident about a process unless they see results.
So the way you navigate is collecting data and evidence on how good this could be, and also maybe educating PM saying, okay, this is a better way of doing things than
Exactly. And also, as you implement these processes, it's, I mean, as I said, it's important to measure results as well, right? That we do using various surveys that we share across different people. And we also see in kind of like, for instance, some metrics like average time to resolution. Before, how much time was it taking? Currently, how much time does it take in order to do the same thing? Such as those.
So do you also have to do like workshops and webinars where you show the
A lot,
processes?
because every process that we work once, before it's being rolled out, we need to make sure the product managers are trained completely on that even before they can adopt. Otherwise, you may launch a process which may not be adopted.
That's right. I think that's there's always a problem where you say this is a good to do, but there's no people who are using it. So there's a lot of educating people and also marketing inside the organizations, stuff saying that this exists, please use this.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. So as a product operations manager, you need to be very good at enabling people with those frameworks. For that, you need good, I mean, I would say maybe training skills as well. So they get to know why we are doing something and what it is it for them if we do it.